Adam Steele had always believed death would come loudly. Explosions, alarms, maybe the cold silence of space. He hadn't expected it to arrive in a quiet chamber of polished metal, surrounded by blue-skinned beings who stared at him like a broken tool. The guards forced him to his knees. Energy restraints bit into his wrists, humming with a low, painful frequency that sent jolts up his arms. The floor beneath him was ice-cold, smooth enough to reflect the tall figure standing before him. Altrian officials draped in dark ceremonial armor, their silver eyes sharp and unreadable. A voice echoed through the chamber. "Identify the prisoner." One of the guards shoved Adam forward harder than necessary. Adam Steele, human, reconnaissance operative of Earth's outer defense fleet. Adam clenched his jaw. He refused to look weak, even now. An official stepped forward, long fingers folding behind his back. "You stand accused of unlawful intrusion into restricted Altrian territory, intelligence theft, and violation of Interspecies Treaty Code 5591. Adam kept his face neutral, though his heart pounded. The mission wasn't supposed to end like this. A simple stealth insertion near Alter 4. Data collection. In and out, but his craft had malfunctioned during atmospheric entry, leaving him stranded and visible long enough for Altrian patrols to lock onto him. Now he was here. The sentence, the official continued calmly, is death by neural dissolution. A brief pause. Alternatively, permanent servitude to the Dominion. Adam laughed bitterly. "Go to hell." The guards reacted instantly, slamming him back down. The official didn't even flinch. "Human defiance is well documented," he said coolly. "However, your execution would violate the Terran, Altrian non-aggression accord." Adam's breath caught. "If you die," the official added, "Earth's colonies in the Proxima sector lose Dominion protection." That wasn't just a threat. That was leverage. Before Adam could respond, a new voice cut through the chamber. Smooth, calm, and authoritative. "There's another option." The room shifted. Guards straightened. Officials stepped aside. From the shadows emerged a woman. She was Altrian, but unlike the others. Her skin shimmered with a faint silver hue rather than the common blue, marking her instantly as nobility. Her white hair was pulled back tightly, accentuating sharp cheekbones and pointed ears. Dark military insignia adorned her uniform. Adam recognized the symbols immediately. A general. General Vera, the official said, bowing his head. "This matter is—" "I know exactly what it is," she interrupted, her gaze fixed on Adam. Cold, measuring. Adam swallowed. This was her. The legendary strategist of the Orion conflict. The woman who had stalled Earth's fleets when everyone else believed total annihilation was inevitable. Intelligence files listed her age at 63. Ancient by human standards. Prime by Altrian ones. "I invoke the right of clemency," Valera said. The chamber erupted in murmurs. "General," the administrator protested, "that statute is rarely—" "I am invoking it," she said flatly. "Silence." The administrator stiffened. "You claim responsibility for the offender through formal union?" "Yes." Adam's head snapped up. "What?" Valera stepped closer until she stood directly before him. "I claim this human," she said. Adam stared. "Claim me how?" Her silver eyes didn't blink. "By marriage." The word hit him harder than any weapon. "Marriage." Adam barked. "You're joking." "I do not joke." The administrator hesitated. "General, this human is 33 years your junior. Age is irrelevant under Dominion law." Adam shook his head in disbelief. "I don't even know you." "You know enough," she replied calmly. "This bond spares your life and prevents political fallout. And if I refuse—" Her voice dropped. "You die, or you serve." Adam looked around the chamber. Armed guards. Cold officials. No escape. This wasn't a choice. It was a sentence disguised as mercy. "What kind of marriage?" he asked tightly. "A legal one," Valera said. "You will reside in my household. You will be protected. You will not leave the planet. And what do you get out of this?" Adam demanded. Something flickered in her eyes. Gone before he could name it. "That is not your concern." The administrator cleared his throat. The human must decide. Adam closed his eyes. Earth, his family, the colonies. If he died here, others would pay the price. Fine, he said quietly. I accept. Valera nodded once. Release him. The restraints disengaged. Adam rose slowly, flexing his wrists, staring at the woman who was now, unbelievably, his wife. She was older, powerful, alien. This wasn't a marriage. It was another kind of cage. Come, Valera said, turning away. We leave immediately. Adam followed, unaware that this forced union would alter not only his fate, but the future of two civilizations. The journey away from the Alterian capital felt longer than it should have. Adam sat rigid inside the transport craft, arms folded, jaw tight, staring to the transparent viewport as the towering spires of the city faded into the distance. Gleaming structures of crystal and metal gave way to jagged cliffs, rolling highlands and forests unlike anything on Earth. Trees with silver bark and softly glowing leaves that pulsed faintly in the dimming light. Valera stood across from him, hands clasped behind her back, unmoving. She hadn't spoken since they left the detention complex. Are you always this talkative? Adam muttered, finally breaking the silence. Or is this just how you treat your newly acquired husbands? Her eyes flicked toward him, sharp and assessing. You are not acquired, she said calmly. You are protected. Feels the same from where I'm standing. She ignored the comment. The transport slowed as it approached a cliffside estate carved partially into stone. Adam frowned. He had expected something massive, an armored fortress, layers of guards, a palace worthy of one of the Dominion's most feared generals. Instead, the structure was restrained. Stone walls blended naturally into mountainside. Translucent panels caught the copper glow of Alter 4 sun. No visible weapons. No patrols. This is it. Adam asked. This is my home, Valera replied. The craft settled silently onto a landing platform. Inside, the air was warm and clean. The interior architecture flowed in curved lines, with living plants integrated into the walls themselves. It was minimalist, elegant, and quiet, uncomfortably quiet. You live here alone? Adam asked. Yes. No staff. No guards. No servants. I require none. Adam stopped walking and turned to face her. You're one of the most powerful figures in this system. That makes zero sense. Her gaze hardened. You would do well to remember your position, human. Right. Husband. Prisoner. Political liability. She gestured down a corridor. Your quarters. Adam followed, taking mental notes. No obvious cameras. No locks. No visible defenses. Either this was the most secure house on the planet, or the most reckless. The room she showed him was surprisingly considerate. Human-sized bed, atmospheric controls calibrated for Earth gravity and oxygen levels. Even familiar textures on the furniture. You prepared this in advance, Adam said. Yes. So you plan to marry someone eventually? No. That answer unsettled him more than he expected. Before he could press further, Valera paused at the doorway. Rest, she said. Tomorrow we define boundaries. Then she left. Adam exhaled slowly and collapsed onto bed. So this was his life now, bound to an alien general old enough to be his grandmother, stranded on a world where every step could be monitored, every mistake fatal. He lay there for several minutes before curiosity and paranoia got the better of him. The door wasn't locked. That bothered him. Moving quietly, Adam stepped into the hallway and began exploring. The house was larger than it appeared, with branching corridors and open chambers. Most rooms were sparse, studies, training spaces, observation decks. Then he saw her. Valera stood alone in a circular room filled with floating holograms, battle formations, fleet movements, tactical projections. Her posture was rigid, but her face, tired, older than she'd looked before. For just a moment, the legendary general looked like a woman carrying too much weight. Adam stepped back before she noticed him. Further down the corridor, he found a room that made him stop short. Artifacts, not Alterian. Human. Books printed on real paper. A brass compass, Earth music recordings, military insignia from decades ago. What the hell? Adam whispered. Why would an Altrian war hero collect human relics? By nightfall, his unease had crystallized into resolve. He wasn't staying. The house might look unguarded, but no one of Valera's rank lived without defenses. Still, he'd rather die trying to exist as some political ornament. When the twin moons rose, bathing the landscape in violet light, Adam slipped outside through a rear exit. No alarms. Too easy. Cold air hit him immediately, sharp and foreign, laced with scents that made his head spin. He moved toward the treeline, boots crunching softly on the ground. 30 meters. 40. Then the ground shifted. What he thought was solid earth liquefied beneath his feet, turning thick and adhesive. His boots sank, then his calves. Damn it! Each movement made it worse. Reactive soil, a calm voice said behind him. It responds to unfamiliar biological signatures. Adam twisted as much as he could. Valera stood several steps away, barefoot, completely unaffected by the shifting ground. Nice defense system. Adam snapped. Subtle. It is meant to protect, not punish. Feels pretty punishing from here. She approached, stepping effortlessly across the unstable surface, and extended a hand. Come back inside. The cold will harm you. Adam hesitated, then grabbed her hand. Her grip was strong. Warm. She pulled him free with ease. Why aren't you angry? He asked as they walked back. Anger serves no purpose, she said. You behaved as expected. Inside, she led him not to his room, but to a central chamber where a heating core glowed softly. She handed him a steaming cup. Drink. He sniffed it cautiously. Poison. If I wished you dead, you would already be. Fair point. The drink was good. Sweet, spice, comforting. Why do you live alone? Adam asked suddenly. She was silent for a long time. Because they fear me, she said finally, or resent me. You won wars for them. I did what was necessary, she corrected, often in ways they prefer not to remember. Adam studied her, seeing past the uniform to something raw beneath. So this marriage, he said quietly, it wasn't just about saving me. No, she admitted. The word hung between them. Morning light filtered through copper-tinted skies as Adam woke unrest but alert. He found Valera in an open courtyard, performing controlled, flowing combat movements. Without armor, without rank, she looked different. Human in a way. You slept poorly, she observed. Guess I'm transparent. You are, she said. Humans often are. They ate together in silence before she spoke again. I propose an exchange, Valera said. I will teach you how to survive on Altar 4. In return, you teach me how humans think. Adam frowned. Why? Because during the Orion conflict, she said, your people survived when logic said you should not have. He leaned back. And you want to know why? Yes, he considered. I want access to move freely on this estate, he said. And I want the truth. Her eyes sharpened. One truth, she said after a pause. For one truth. Why did you marry me? Adam asked. She met his gaze steadily. Because I needed a human perspective not filtered through fear or politics. Adam nodded slowly. My turn, she said. Why did you accept? He exhaled. Because I'm not ready to die. Something like approval crossed her face. Our first lesson begins now, Valera said, gesturing down the corridor. And for the first time since his capture, Adam realized he wasn't just surviving anymore. He was becoming part of something far larger and far more dangerous than he'd ever imagined. The room Valera led Adam into felt alive. The walls shimmered, shifting from smooth stone to layer holographic projections that rose and folded into three-dimensional maps. Star systems bloomed into existence, rotating slowly in the air. Defense grids pulsed faintly, glowing lines tracing invisible borders across space. This is a tactical learning chamber, Valera said. It adapts to the user. Adam whistled under his breath. Earth would kill for tech like this. She already has, Valera replied without malice. They spent hours there. Valera explained Altrian planetary defenses, biological architecture woven into landscapes, living materials that reacted to hostile intent, cities that could become fortresses in minutes. Adam listened carefully, impressed despite himself. When it was his turn, he showed her something simpler. Desperation. How did you keep your supply lines alive during the Orion blockade? Valera asked. Adam pulled up a holographic model. We didn't fight your fleets head-on. We flooded the system with micro-couriers. Thousands of them. Most weren't worth shooting down. Inefficient, she observed. Effective, Adam countered. Your strategy assumed rational targets. We overwhelmed you with inconvenience. For a moment, her lips curved almost imperceptibly. Human logic is untidy, she said, but surprisingly effective. The days that followed settled into an uneasy rhythm. Lessons, meals, long conversations that began with strategy and ended somewhere more personal than either of them expected. Adam learned Altrian customs, gestures, and social traps that could get him executed if misused. Valera, in turn, absorbed human history and tactics with unsettling intensity. On the 5th day, she broke routine. The Lunar Convergence Festival begins tomorrow, she said. Adam blinked. Festival? As my bonded partner, you will attend. I thought you avoided public appearances. This one is mandatory. He sighed. What happens if I mess it up? Political disaster, she replied evenly. Great. She led him into a chamber he hadn't seen before, a wardrobe room filled with garments suspended in light. You will need proper attire, Valera said as a scanning beam swept over him. Adam shifted uncomfortably. You know, humans usually ease into relationships before wardrobe scans. She ignored the comment. That's when Adam noticed it. On a shelf behind her, a small metallic object, aged, scratched, unmistakably human. He stepped closer. No way. He picked it up carefully. A pocket watch. Silver casing. Faded engraving. Adam's breath caught as he opened it. To Jonathan Steele, for valor beyond duty. His hands trembled. This belonged to my grandfather, he said hoarsely. How do you have this? Valera froze. For the first time since he'd met her, she looked shaken. You are Jonathan Steele's descendant, she said quietly. He disappeared 30 years ago. Adam snapped. His ship was lost near the system. What did you do to him? Anger flashed in her eyes. I saved him. The words landed like a shockwave. She crossed the room and pressed her palm to a hidden panel. A compartment slid open, revealing more artifacts. Photographs, Earth military insignia, handwritten notes. One image made Adam's chest tighten. A younger Valera standing beside a human man he recognized instantly from family records. My grandfather, Adam whispered. By Dominion law, I should have executed him as an intruder, Valera said softly. Instead, I brought him here. He was injured. I healed him. You kept him prisoner? No, I sheltered him. Adam stared at the image. He never talked about it. Not once. He stayed for nearly a year, she continued. We spoke often about war, about humanity, about hope. Her voice faltered, just slightly. He gave me the watch when he left. Understanding crashed into Adam. That's why you saved me, he said slowly. You recognize my name. Yes. You married me because of debt. Partly, she admitted. Adam exhaled, emotions tangling, anger, awe, confusion. My grandfather came back different, he said. More open, less afraid. He was remarkable, Valera said. As are you. The silence stretched. Were you and him? Adam asked cautiously. Her skin darkened, a deep Altrian flush. Our species are compatible in ways forbidden by law. That answered enough. The festival preparations resumed in a haze. That night, as they practiced ceremonial movements, Adam felt something shift. Valera wasn't just a protector or strategist anymore. She was history, connection. The lunar convergence transformed the capital into a living canvas of light. 3 beams, silver, copper, violet, intersected above the central plaza as music resonated through the air. Eyes followed them everywhere. Administrator Krell stood among the onlookers, his gaze sharp with suspicion. "Stay close," Valera murmured. "I'm not going anywhere," Adam replied. The bond dance began. It wasn't just movement, it was alignment. As their hands touched, Adam felt a surge, like static under his skin. The air seemed charged, humming with energy. "This feels intense," he whispered. "The convergence amplifies bioenergetic fields," she said, voice low. Their movements drew them closer. Heat built, awareness sharpened. This wasn't obligation anymore. It was choice. When they finally left the plaza together, Adam realized something undeniable had formed between them, something neither law nor politics could erase. Morning came too soon. Adam woke to find silvery patterns tracing his forearm. "What is this?" he asked. Valera studied them closely. "The bond manifested physically," she said. "Extremely rare. Is it bad?" "No," she said softly. "It's extraordinary." An alarm cut through the moment. "Central Command requires my presence," Valera said. Immediately, Adam met her gaze. "Krell, most likely." She touched his face gently. "Whatever happens, I do not regret this." Neither did he. As they prepared to face the council, Adam realized the truth. This wasn't just a marriage anymore. It was a challenge to everything the Dominion believed. Central Command loomed like a blade driven into the planet's surface. Its towering structure of dark crystal and living metal pulsed faintly as Adam and Valera approached, escorted by silent security units. The atmosphere inside was tense. Too many armed figures, too many watching eyes. Adam could feel it. This wasn't a summons. It was an ambush. The High Council chamber opened before them, vast and circular, with elevated platforms arranged in a crescent. At its center stood Administrator Krell, hands folded, lips curved in something dangerously close to a smile. "General Valera," Krell said, bowing with exaggerated politeness, "and her human companion." "Husband," Valera corrected calmly. Several council members shifted at that. "Indeed," Krell replied. "That is precisely why we are here." A holographic display flared to life behind him. Images of Valera's estate, the human artifacts, medical scans from the lunar convergence. "You invoked an ancient statute under extraordinary circumstances," Krell continued. "One might question whether this was clemency or concealment." Valera didn't flinch. "The law permits my actions, but not repeated human involvement." Krell snapped. "You harbored an Earth operative decades ago. Now you are bonded to another. This suggests contamination of judgment." Adam stepped forward. "With respect." Valera's hand tightened on his arm, but the central counselor raised a hand. "Let the human speak." Adam took a breath. "You call it contamination," he said evenly. "I call it understanding. General Valera didn't weaken your defenses. She prevented a war that would have destroyed both our species." Krell scoffed. "Humans are chaotic, emotional, unreliable." "Yes," Adam agreed. "And that's exactly why you can't predict us." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. "I propose a demonstration," Adam said. "A tactical simulation. Your best strategist versus human adaptive tactics." Valera turned toward him, surprise flickering. The council exchanged glances. "Very well," the lead counselor said after a moment. "Administrator Krell will lead the opposing force." Krell's eyes burned. The simulation chamber sealed around them. Instantly, they stood on the bridge of a warship, 12 vessels under their command. Enemy forces triple their number. "Standard doctrine says perimeter defense," Valera said. "And standard doctrine gets us wiped," Adam replied. "Let's be unpredictable." They had ships among asteroid shadows, created false signals, lured Krell's forces forward. Then Adam sensed it. "He's adjusting the simulation," he said, "stacking the odds." Valera closed her eyes briefly. "The bond," she whispered. "It allows shared perception." Without speaking, they coordinated. Instinct, impulse, precision merging seamlessly. Krell's fleet fell into chaos. When the simulation ended, silence filled the chamber. "Incredible," the lead counselor said. "This synergy." is forbidden, Krell shouted. The human manipulated her. The logs show you altered the simulation, the technician said quietly. Security seized Krell. The council turned to Valera. Your bond represents potential, the lead counselor said. Your marriage is formally recognized. Relief washed through Adam. As they returned home, Valera looked at him differently now. Not as an obligation, but as a partner. This changes everything, she said. Adam smiled faintly. Good, because I was never good at following expectations. The estate felt different after the council's decision. Not quieter. Altarian architecture was always silent. But lighter, as if an invisible weight had been lifted from the stone itself. Adam noticed at the moment they stepped inside. The air no longer felt like borrowed space. It felt claimed. Ours. A small voice in his mind whispered. Valera removed her formal mantle and placed it carefully on its stand, the rigid general's posture easing the slightest bit. She turned to Adam, studying him with that familiar intensity, but now there was something else layered beneath it. Trust. You should not have challenged the council so directly, she said at last. Adam shrugged. Humans aren't great at staying quiet when the rules are stupid. A corner of her mouth lifted. I am beginning to understand that. They stood together on the balcony, overlooking the silver forest. The 3 moons were already rising, their light weaving across the valley like threads of pale fire. The council's recognition protects us, Valera said. For now. Adam caught the hesitation. That didn't sound reassuring. It wasn't meant to be, she admitted. Krell is gone, but his ideology remains. There are many who believe what we represent is dangerous. 2 people cooperating across species lines? Adam said, yeah, terrifying. Valera turned toward him fully. Not just cooperation. Change. She lifted his arm gently, fingers tracing the faint silver patterns that still glimmered against the skin. This bond challenges our understanding of biology, command hierarchy, even identity. There are those who will attempt to control it. Adam met her gaze. Or destroy it. Yes. The words settled heavily between them. That night, sleep came slowly. Adam lay awake, listening to the subtle hum of the estate, feeling the strange resonance that still pulsed beneath his skin. When he finally drifted off, he dreamed not of Earth or battle, but of standing at the edge of 2 worlds, neither fully behind him. He woke to alarms, not the soft internal chime of the house, but sharp, urgent pulse. Valera was already on her feet, eyes focused, armor materializing around her in layered segments. Unidentified vessel, she said, entering restricted orbit. Adam sat up instantly. Dominion? No, she replied. Independent faction. That was worse. They reached the command alcove as holographic projections flared to life. A sleek vessel hovered in orbit, its configuration unfamiliar. Signal incoming, the system announced. Valera's jaw tightened. Open channel. The image resolved into a tall, Altarian male, his uniform bearing old military markings, retired but influential. General Valera, he said smoothly. It has been some time. Adam felt her tension spike. Counselor Mathrin, she replied coolly. You are far from your jurisdiction. Mathrin smiled. Curiosity brought me. Word travels quickly when ancient laws are bent. His gaze shifted to Adam. So this is a human. Adam crossed his arms. You say that like I'm a malfunctioning engine. Mathrin chuckled. You are more disruptive than that. Valera stepped forward. State your purpose. To observe, Mathrin said, and to warn. There are those within the Dominion who believe your bond should not be studied but seized. The word sent a chill through Adam. You're talking about us like we're weapons, he said. Mathrin inclined his head. All power becomes a weapon eventually. The transmission cut abruptly. Adam exhaled. That went great. Valera was already issuing commands. We accelerate the diplomatic initiative. Immediately. To Earth. Adam asked, Yes. He stared at her. You're serious. I would not have married you if I were not, she said evenly. Earth must hear this from us, before others frame it as a threat. The journey preparations began at once. as Adam helped configure human-compatible systems aboard Valera's command vessel. Reality finally caught up to him. "I haven't been home in years," he said quietly. "Now I'm going back. Married to an alien general." Valera studied him. "Do you regret it?" He considered the question carefully. "No," he said. "I regret that it took a prison sentence to get here. That earned him a soft, unfamiliar sound. Laughter. During the voyage, the bond between them deepened in unexpected ways. Shared impressions. Emotional echoes. Not thoughts exactly, more like understanding without language. Adam learned when Valera was uneasy before she spoke. She sensed a stubborn resolve before he acted. It was intimate, too intimate to ignore. On the fourth day of travel, the ship exited hyperspace near Sol. Earth, blue, fragile, familiar. Adam felt his throat tighten. "They will fear me," Valera said quietly, standing beside him on the observation deck. "As yours fear me." "Yeah," Adam replied. "But humans fear everything new. Then we poke it until it makes sense." She turned toward him. "And if they reject us?" Adam met her gaze steadily. "Then we stand our ground. Together." Earth's defense fleet intercepted them within minutes. Tension crackled across every channel. "Unidentified Altrian vessel. State your intentions." Adam stepped forward. "This is Adam Steele of Earth Defense Fleet, transmitting with diplomatic authority." There was a long pause. "Adam Steele, status unclear. Records list you as missing." "Not anymore," he said. "Requesting diplomatic clearance." "I'm not alone." Valera stepped into view. Gasps rippled across the human command bridge. "I am General Valera of the Altrian Dominion," she said. "I come in peace and in bond." The silence that followed was absolute. At last, a voice spoke. "You're married?" Adam smirked faintly. Long story. As Earth granted provisional clearance, Adam felt the full weight of what they were doing. They weren't just crossing space. They were crossing fear, history, and prejudice, on both sides. Valera reached for his hand, openly, without concern for who might see. "This path will not be easy," she said. Adam squeezed her fingers. "Nothing worth changing ever is." Below them, Earth turned slowly, unaware that its future, and the future of an entire galactic balance, was about to shift. Earth orbit was crowded with weapons. Adam hadn't realized how much until he saw it from the outside. Defense platforms layered like scars around the planet. Patrol craft moving in tight, anxious formations. The moment Valera's ship crossed the outer perimeter, targeting systems locked on automatically. Multiple weapons tracking us. The ship's AI announced calmly. Adam let out a slow breath. "That's home." Valera studied the tactical overlay without flinching. "Your people prepare for war quickly." "We've had practice," Adam replied. "Mostly because we assumed the worst." A human voice cut through the comm channel, sharp and controlled. "Altrian vessel, cut engines and prepare for inspection. Any hostile movement will be interpreted as an act of war." Adam stepped forward. "Earth Defense Command, this is Adam Steele. Clearance code Delta 71. There was a pause, longer this time. Steele, confirmed identity pending visual. The main screen activated, revealing a crowded command center. Officers whispered urgently behind a familiar face. "Admiral Hayes. Older now. Harder. Adam." Hayes said, disbelief flickering across his expression. "We declared you lost 3 years ago." "Yeah," Adam said quietly. "I had a complicated detour." Hayes' eyes shifted and locked onto Valera. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. "And who?" Hayes asked carefully. "Is your guest?" Valera stepped forward with practiced composure. "I am General Valera of the Altrian Dominion," she said. "And Adam Steele is my bonded partner." The room erupted. Voices overlapped. Orders barked. Weapons officers tensed. "A bonded..." Hayes began. "Married," Adam clarified. "Legally. On both sides." Silence felt like a drop blade. "That's not funny," Hayes said. Adam didn't smile. "I'm not joking." Security protocols tightened instantly. Earth granted them docking permission, but not trust. As the airlock sealed behind them, Adam felt the weight of 100 unseen eyes. Armed Marines lined the corridor. No one lowered their weapons. Valera leaned slightly toward him. "Your people are expressive. You should have seen first contact," Adam muttered. They were escorted into a fortified briefing chamber. Government officials, military brass, intelligence analysts. Everyone looked at Valera like she was a living warhead. Hayes folded his arms. "You're asking us to believe that one of the Dominion's top generals married a human operative to save his life." "Yes," Valera said evenly, "and that this bond gives you shared cognitive advantages," an intelligence officer added skeptically. Adam rolled up his sleeve, exposing the faint silver markings. "These weren't here before," he said. "Neither was the ability to coordinate battle tactics without speaking." That caused a stir. "Biological weaponization," someone muttered. Valera's eyes sharpened. "I am not a weapon." Hayes raised a hand. "Enough. Adam, speak freely." Adam took a breath. "She could have executed me," he said. "Instead, she challenged her own people's laws to keep me alive. She did the same for my grandfather decades ago." That got attention. "Jonathan Steele?" Hayes asked. "Your grandfather's disappearance was classified." "Yeah," Adam said. "Turns out he survived because of her." Murmurs rippled through the room. "So what are you proposing?" Hayes asked. Valera answered. "An exchange. Transparency. Cooperation. A diplomatic initiative that acknowledges what already exists between our species." "And if we refuse?" a general demanded. Adam met his gaze. "Then someone else will decide for us. And they won't ask nicely." The meeting stretched for hours. Fear clashed with curiosity. Politics with pragmatism. In the end, Earth didn't fully trust Valera, but they trusted Adam. Barely. Provisional diplomatic status was granted. Observation teams assigned. Restrictions imposed. Valera accepted them without protest. That night, Adam stood alone on a viewing deck overlooking Earth. "I forgot how small it looks," he said. Valera joined him. "It is beautiful, fragile. That's why we fight so hard," Adam replied. "And why we're terrified of outsiders." She turned to him. "Are you afraid of me?" He didn't hesitate. "No." She searched his face. "Even knowing what I am capable of." "Especially because of it," he said. "You choose restraint." That mattered. The bond stirred, quiet reassurance passing between them. But peace didn't last. 3 days later, alarms rang again. An Altrian task force had entered Sol System, not Dominion-sanctioned. "Mathrin," Valera said coldly. "He moves faster than expected." Earth's defenses went a full alert. "This is it," Hayes said grimly. "Either you stop them or we do." Valera straightened. "I will confront them." Adam grabbed her arm. "You won't do it alone." She studied him. This may turn violent. "It already is," he replied. As their combined fleet moved to intercept, Adam felt the bond tighten. Focus sharpening, fear burning away. They weren't just representatives now. They were aligned. If they failed, Earth and the Dominion wouldn't just go to war. They'd prove every fear right. Valera placed her hand over his. "Whatever happens," she said softly, "we face it together." Adam nodded. "Always." Beyond the viewport, alien ships advanced toward Earth, silent, dangerous, unstoppable. And between them stood one human, one Altrian, and a bond that refused to break. The void between Earth and the approaching Altrian task force felt charged, like the universe itself was holding its breath. Adam stood beside Valera on the bridge of her command vessel, watching hostile markers bloom across the tactical display. 6 ships, heavy class, not explorers, not diplomats. "They're flying Dominion codes," Adam said, jaw tight, "but not responding to standard authentication." "They will not," Valera replied coldly. "Mathrin answers only to his own vision of supremacy." Earth's fleet held formation behind them. Defense platforms primed, missiles armed. Commanders waiting for a single word that would ignite interstellar war. A transmission cut through the silence. Mathrin's image appeared, composed and infuriatingly calm. "General Valera," he said, Step aside. Earth is not yet ready to be part of the greater order. Valera moved forward, her presence filling the bridge. You violate Dominion law by bringing weapons into a neutral system, she said. Withdraw. Now. Mathrin smiled faintly. Law evolves when power demands it. Your bond has made you sentimental. Adam leaned toward the console. Funny. From our angle, you look scared. Mathrin's eyes flicked to him. Human, you are a variable that should not exist. Yeah, Adam replied. People say that about us a lot. The bond between Adam and Valera tightened. No words, just clarity. He felt her anger, controlled and lethal. She felt his resolve, reckless but unwavering. Mathrin issued the command. The Alterian ships advanced. Earth's targeting systems screamed warnings. Last chance. Hayes' voice echoed over the comms. Pull them back or we open fire. Valera closed her eyes briefly. This is the moment, she said quietly. If we fail, both sides will retreat into fear for generations. Adam nodded. Then we don't fail. She turned to him. The bond allows us to do something unprecedented, but it will expose us. Good, Adam said. Secrets are what started this mess. Valera raised her hands, interfacing directly with the ship's core. Adam felt it instantly, the surge of shared awareness expanding outward, reaching not just each other, but the systems around them. What are you doing? A human officer demanded. Ending this without blood, Valera replied. Together. They opened the channel, not to one ship, but to all of them. Alterian, human, military, civilian. Every screen and range flickered. Adam's voice carried first. This isn't a threat, he said. It's proof. Then Valera stepped beside him. For centuries, we believed separation was safety, she said. That difference meant danger. We were wrong. They let the bond show itself. Data streamed across every system. Biometric resonance, neural synchronization, tactical overlays that demonstrated in real time how their minds complemented one another. Human adaptability, Alterian precision, not domination. Balance. Mathrin's expression hardened. You expose classified biological phenomena to primitives. Adam laughed once, sharp and fearless. You still don't get it. They're not primitives. And neither are you. The task force hesitated. Weapons powered down one by one. Confusion rippled through Mathrin's command crew. This changes nothing, Mathrin snapped. The council will bury you for this. Valera met his gaze without fear. Let them try. Earth's fleet stood down. Silence reclaimed the void. Minutes later, Mathrin's ships withdrew. No victory music. No cheers. Just relief. Back aboard Earth's command station, the reaction was immediate and divided. Some called them heroes. Others called them a liability. But no one could deny what they had witnessed. Adam leaned against the viewport. Exhaustion finally setting in. We just rewrote first contact protocol, he said. No pressure. Valera placed a hand on his shoulder. History will argue about today, but it will remember. Hayes approached them slowly. You forced our hand, he said. Both of you. Adam met his eyes. Yeah, that was the point. Hayes exhaled. The council wants a permanent joint delegation. Human and Alterian. You'll lead it. Valera inclined her head. We accept. Later, alone, standing above Earth's curve, Adam finally let the weight drop. I didn't expect this, he admitted. Any of it. Nor did I, Valera said. Yet I find I would not change it. He turned toward her. Even marrying a loud, stubborn human? She regarded him with quiet affection, especially that. The bond hummed softly between them. Not a weapon, not a miracle. A choice. Two beings who refused to let fear decide the future. As Earth turned below and distant stars burned silently beyond, Adam realized the truth. The universe hadn't changed because of power or technology. It had changed because two species finally chose to understand each other. And that choice would echo far beyond this moment. The joint delegation chamber overlooked Earth's horizon. Adam had stood here dozens of times in the weeks since the standoff, yet the sight still grounded him. The slow curve of blue and white, fragile and defiant against the black. It reminded him why fear had come so easily to his people, and why courage mattered more. Valera stood beside him, hands folded behind her back, posture composed but no longer rigid. She wore no military insignia today. The council had suggested it. Symbolism, they called it. She had agreed, not because she was ordered to, but because she understood the language of moments. Transmission channels are open, the liaison announced. Earth Council and Dominion Assembly standing by. Adam nodded. Let's do this. The chamber lights dimmed and two massive holographic panels ignited, one showing Earth's representatives, the other the Altrian Assembly. Faces filled the air, wary, curious, hopeful, hostile. History compressed into a single breath. Valera stepped forward first. For generations, she began, voice steady and resonant, we protected ourselves by drawing lines, borders, laws, silence. We told ourselves this was wisdom. She paused, letting the words settle. But silence does not prevent conflict. It delays it. Adam took her hand, openly, deliberately, and felt the familiar resonance on between them. Not overwhelming, not consuming, just present. I am Adam Steele, he said, a human, a soldier, a grandson of a man who survived because one Altrian chose mercy over fear. Images appeared behind them. Jonathan Steele's recovered logs, Valera's testimony, the simulation data from the confrontation in Seoul. We're not asking you to erase your differences, Adam continued. We're asking you to stop weaponizing them. Murmurs rippled through both councils. An Altrian elder leaned forward. And if this bond you share becomes a threat? Valera met the question head-on. Then judge us by our actions, not your assumptions. A human counselor spoke next. What you demonstrated, shared cognition, synchronized command, it could be exploited. Adam nodded. Anything can be exploited. That's why oversight matters. Transparency matters. Partnership matters. The debate stretched on, measured, intense, but no longer hostile. For the first time, questions were asked without accusation. Answers were given without defensiveness. When the vote finally came, Adam held his breath. The results appeared in cascading light. Joint accord ratified. Delegation established. Cognitive bond research approved. Ethical oversight mandated. Valera closed her eyes briefly. It was done. The days that followed were a blur of work and wonder. Cultural exchanges. Mixed research teams. Human engineers arguing with Altrian biologists over coffee-like substances that tasted like citrus and ash. Not peace, but progress. Adam found himself busier than he'd ever been. Meetings by day, strategy sessions by night, and in between, quiet moments that mattered more than any vote. Like the evening he found Valera on the estate balcony back on altar for watching the moons rise. You're thinking too loudly, he said gently. She glanced at him, surprised. Is that so obvious? To me, he replied. She smiled, still rare, still precious. The Assembly has requested I return to military command, she said, in an advisory role. And I declined. Adam raised an eyebrow. That's new. I have spent my life winning wars, she said softly. I would like to try preventing them. He stepped closer. You're good at that, too. They stood in silence, the silver forest whispering below. Do you ever think about how this started? Adam asked. A forced marriage. A prison sentence. Yes, she said. Often. And I think the universe has a peculiar sense of humor. He laughed quietly. That's one way to put it. Later that night, Adam sat alone in the study, staring at the pocket watch, Jonathan Steele's watch, now restored and ticking steadily. He turned it over, tracing the inscription, For Valor Beyond Duty. Valera appeared in the doorway. You should keep it, she said. It was always meant to return to you. Adam closed the watch and nodded. He'd be proud of you. She considered that. I hope so. Time passed. Years, not months. The joint delegation became permanent. Children grew up learning two histories instead of one. Human and Altrian ships patrolled together, not as overlords and vassals, but as partners. There were setbacks, protests, Sabotage. Those who clung to old fears didn't disappear overnight, but neither did hope. On the 10th anniversary of the Accord, Adam and Valera stood before a crowd that spanned species and stars. "You once asked me why I married you," Valera said quietly as they waited to speak. Adam smirked. "I remember." "I told you it was necessity," she continued. That was not untrue, but it was not complete. He met her gaze. "What's the complete truth?" She took his hands, unafraid of the watching world. "I chose you because you reminded me that strength without compassion is just control, and compassion without courage is just fear." Adam felt the bond warm, steady, enduring. When they addressed the crowd, Adam kept it simple. "No one expected this," he said. "Not the Dominion, not Earth, not us." A ripple of soft laughter followed. "We didn't win because we were stronger," he continued. "We didn't survive because we were smarter. We changed things because we were willing to listen when it would have been easier to destroy." Valera stepped beside him. "The future is not built by those who live the longest," she said, "but by those who choose to connect." As applause rose, human, Alterian, and beyond, Adam realized something profound. Their story wouldn't be remembered as a scandal, or a miracle, or even a romance. It would be remembered as a turning point, a moment when the galaxy learned that survival wasn't about domination or isolation, but about the courage to reach across the unknown and say, "We can do better." And together, they did.